To be honest, everybody filmed a video about the RTX 50 series already like 10 months ago when it launched. But why am I doing it now, you might ask? Well, I recently bought an RTX 5070, and to be honest, nobody was going to send me a card for free. And by the time it even reaches my country, the RTX 60 series will probably already be out. But the best thing about this video is that these are at least honest realizations I had about this GPU series. And they're not always the same as what you hear from other people. And it's not bullshit, so to speak. So these are the things you realize as soon as you buy an RTX 50 series GPU. Let's get started. Number 1. Connector issue. Do you know about the new PCI 5 connector for video cards with a 12-pin cable and 4 tiny pins clipped on top? Well, it's supposed to be good, not gonna lie. It should provide more power and improve cable management efficiency, because we know that with each generation, the number of pins used for powering video cards kept increasing. It got to the point where GPUs reached 8 plus 8 plus 8 pin connectors, which is huge. And obviously, as power requirements grow, the number of pins would continue to increase. So Nvidia and other GPU vendors had to find a solution before it reached something like a 24-pin motherboard connector. And they came up with this solution and started designing video cards with the PCI 5 PSU connector starting from the 40 series. And you know what? The problem is that these connectors started melting over time. People began complaining about it many times on Reddit, and some users noticed the issue when they upgraded and couldn't remove the power connector anymore. That meant Nvidia completely failed with the RTX 40 connector. And no, it's not because of bad PSU, don't get me wrong. People were using 80 plus gold power supplies and the problem was still there. You might say this was the first real implementation of PCI 5 technology, and they wouldn't repeat the same mistake again, right? Well, no. After a year when Nvidia released a new GPU generation, the RTX 50 series, people were still complaining about this connector. The melting problem was still there. That's crazy because it directly affects consumer safety. Nobody wants to burn their entire build because of one video card, right? And to be honest with you guys, when I filmed my easy PC building guide, I said that if your GPU is higher than the RTX 40 series, you can use this PCI 5 connector. But after finishing that build, I found the problem with connectivity. The issue wasn't melting this time, but a weak connection. Basically, when I connected everything and turned on my PC, it worked fine. But after finishing the video, the next day I couldn't turn it on at all. There was just a black screen on my monitor. I started looking for the problem, and at first I suspected something was wrong with the RAM, especially considering the RAM shortage that started right after I built my PC. I thought maybe the store sold me defective RAM and kept the good kits to sell later for a higher price. I know it sounds like I'm an overthinking idiot, but during shortages, anything feels possible. We've already encountered people camping outside the Micro Center in 2021, in case you didn't know. But it turned out none of that was true, and I was overthinking idiot. The problem was the video card connector. The connector simply wasn't making proper contact, and at one point, it wasn't making contact at all. That's why the GPU showed nothing, and I blamed the RAM for no reason. In the end, I tried unplugging and plugging everything back in, even changing the PSU side connection, but nothing worked. So I took the adapter from the GPU box and connected it using an 8 plus 8 pin PSU cable. And that was it. My PC started working normally again thanks to the adapter. So yeah, that was my first impression of this video card, and it was rough. But that wasn't the end, because there's another thing we're all already sick of. Number 2. AI slop. Now let's remember the Nvidia presentation. There was one word from Huang that made people hate the RTX 5070. And I guess you probably know which word it was. Jensen Huang once said that the RTX 5070's performance would surpass the RTX 4090. And everyone was like, wow, considering that the RTX 4090 was the most powerful GPU of the previous generation. And at that time, we didn't know the performance of the RTX 5080 and 5090. We all reacted the same way except for Aunt Linus.
Probably want to see it.
But in the end, it turned out to be an AI boost to FPS running on the RTX 5070. Crazy, right? You might say, alright, but what's the trick? Yes, they increased FPS like we wanted, but the problem is that the raw performance of the RTX 5070 is so much slower that it can't even outperform the RTX 4070 Ti. And when they said the RTX 5070 performs the same as the RTX 4090, they were actually talking about a technology called multi-frame generation, which is part of the new DLSS. And we already know what DLSS is. It's a technology that reduces image quality to give you higher FPS, but this new version uses AI and it degrades the image even more. and they literally calling this AI generated FPS an outperformer of the RTX 4090. That turned out to be one of the worst marketing moves Nvidia has ever made. That's why a lot of people started hating this exact RTX 50 series. People were making videos about how bad it was and criticizing it heavily. And in the end, Uncle Linus turned out to be right. But if we look at this situation more closely, it actually reminds us of something. Number 3. Nvidia turning into Apple. Yeah, that reminds me of Apple. Nvidia, as you might have noticed, is now officially becoming like Apple. Literally every 2 years we get a new generation of RTX, but the changes are not that noticeable. And especially the RTX series was definitely not the best improvement after the RTX 40 series. But I understand what you're thinking. You're probably thinking that games aren't improving in graphics and optimization is getting worse over time. Yeah, but what about those RTX and DLSS updates every year? They are literally showing us changes with every DLSS version, but the result is always the same. The image is damaged and you get a lot of FPS. I'm not a programmer, but even from the outside, this feels like a bad direction. Back in the day, developers had to optimize their games. They had to work within real hardware limits. Today, DLSS feels like an easy excuse to ship poorly optimized games and just say, turn on upscaling. And people who pay for that are the players. If you don't have a 50 series or even a 40 or 30 series GPU, plus a strong CPU and enough RAM to avoid bottlenecks, you're basically pushed out. PCs that should last many years suddenly feel obsolete. Not because they're weak, but because games are inefficient. And yeah, I'll be honest, the selfish part of me still enjoys DLSS. It lets me run badly optimized Unreal Engine 5 games on my RTX 5070 at playable frame rates. But at the same time, it feels like a band-aid, not a real solution. It hides bad optimization instead of fixing it. And when the entire AAA industry starts relying on shortcuts instead of fundamentals, that's usually when things start breaking. So why is Nvidia turning into Apple? Because the changes aren't clear with each generation. With every generation, Nvidia brings fewer truly new updates. For example, after the massive performance updates of the GTX series, we got the RTX 20 series. That was a massive game changer because it gave us not only better performance, but also ray tracing and the first version of DLSS. At the time, DLSS seemed cool even though almost nobody used it on the RTX 20 series. Then we got the RTX 30 series, which brought the faster GDDR6X memory, resizable bar, and Nvidia Reflex. In general, the RTX 30 series was one of the most legendary generations of all time. Then came the RTX 40 series, where we got nothing truly interesting for gamers. The only noticeable changes were performance and the PCIe 5 port. The rest was just new DLSS versions, ray tracing updates, and CUDA core increases that mostly matter to editors and 3D designers. And now we have the RTX 50 series, where basically nothing changed at all. It's just a GPU full of AI slop. Faster DLSS thanks to AI and nothing truly special. It looks exactly like iPhone starting from the 12th version, where changes became barely noticeable. The camera gets better, performance increases, but how exactly is unclear. And that's the same situation with Nvidia. They're not producing anything truly special anymore, except raw performance, yet they still announce a new generation every 2 years. Number 5. Price scam. To be honest, this presentation differed from the previous ones because Nvidia showed us a big improvement in pricing for the new 50 series. Actually, the RTX 50 series is priced lower than the RTX 40 series MSRP. For example, if the RTX 4070 was $599 at launch, the RTX 5070 is $549. And if the RTX 4080 was $1,199, then the RTX 5080 is $999, which to be clear sounds good in general. But after the launch, Nvidia decided to shift focus away from the consumer market of ordinary gamers and video editors towards AI production. Because of that, in some countries, MSRP prices were basically forgotten. There were countries where video cards were sold for twice the MSRP, including mine. For example, my RTX 5070 from MSI, which I bought in November 2025, cost me around $1,000. And remember, the MSRP was $549. And no, don't get me wrong, I know there are logistic costs and margins from the tech resellers, but that shouldn't be such a big problem, because previous generations showed that after MSRP, a significant price increase shouldn't happen at all. It should be a maximum of around a 20% increase, that's it. But what we see on the market is completely different from what we saw in the presentation. To be honest, I still bought this GPU because I believed Nvidia as a loyal customer. I had a GTX 1060, then an RTX 3060, and now an RTX 5070. I thought, is the RTX 50 series really that bad? And I purchased it anyway, because I needed a newer generation for editing software and more CUDA cores for better performance. Do I regret it? Not really. In my case, I have YouTube earnings, so I can earn that money back and still have an RTX 5070, but as an ordinary customer, I would definitely think twice. The other thing is, in my country right now, RTX 40 series cards are expensive. RTX 30 series cards are expensive as well, while the RTX 50 series was at least available to buy. There are also RTX 5070 Ti, which is stronger, but the price difference was about $200. And considering that I wanted a white build specifically, I didn't buy it, because as you know, white builds are hard to find and especially expensive most of the time. And I guess you're thinking now, what about AMD? Well, unfortunately, while AMD cards are still good in games, many editing programs are tied to Nvidia's CUDA cores. That's why I didn't even consider them. So now we have to finish this video anyway. If you liked this video, thanks for watching and take care.